All right, let's take another look at gold. Things are playing out as they should. Remember, I drew this trend line in, and I kept warning people that gold needed to break that trend line before this daily cycle low would be over. And that's in progress today. That doesn't mean that it's going to bottom today, but it needs to break that trend line, and preferably, 95% of the time, not only does it break it, but it closes below it. It looks like it's probably going to do that today. But again, that doesn't mean that the bottom is going to form today. It's just that we've completed another parameter that needed to be met before we could get that final daily cycle low. But we'll get that daily cycle low here sometime soon. My guess would be probably before the end of the week, I would think. I do not think that it's going to drop below this pivot here. This second daily cycle was right translated, so I think the selling will exhaust itself before it gets to this point. And then I think we're going to have a very convincing bounce. But I do believe we're in the declining phase of the intermediate cycle. So that'll be the third daily cycle when we get our bottom here and then bounce. That'll be the beginning of the third daily cycle. And that cycle should left translate, which means it's probably not going to rally more than 8 to 10 days, 12 tops. Once the RSI gets up here to overbought, then we're probably going to turn back down pretty quickly and start stair stepping down. So, this is what is going to catch gold bugs on the slope of hope. We're going to get a convincing bounce here pretty soon, and they're going to keep holding and hoping, and then they're going to get caught when that third daily cycle left translates and comes down and makes a lower low. And I think there's a pretty good chance that that third daily cycle is going to test, probably marginally break below this low. I'm not really expecting a big waterfall event that we would typically get. A lot of times I'm looking for that bloodbath phase where a support zone gets broken, and then you have that 5 to 7 days of just all out panic selling. Not really convinced that that's going to happen with gold. At this point, I think a break of this support zone would only produce a marginal undercut, and then we'll start the next intermediate advance. But again, I'm not really expecting a final 8-year cycle low until mid or even late next year. So probably, the next intermediate rally probably will not be able to get above this high either. So metals are probably just going to remain stuck in this very difficult sideways to slightly down chop for another 6 months to a year before we're really ready to head to the moon. And I've tried to warn people that you've got to quit listening to these perma-bull analysts trying to convince traders that metals are going to skyrocket to the moon any day now. It's a great way to sell subscriptions because gold bugs love to hear talk of to the moon, but the reality is that we're almost certainly caught in the declining phase of the 8-year cycle, and we're just kind of stuck in this very difficult sideways market, and probably will be for another 6 months to a year. So we've completed the parameter we needed. We've broken this trend line, so now we're just kind of wait until we get some sign that the daily cycle is bottomed, and then we'll look for that convincing rally, but it should come up short of making a higher high, and then roll over and then come down and make a lower low, and probably we're going to test or marginally break this intermediate low here during that final intermediate cycle decline.